Hey, what up? Welcome back to Team Fortress TV. It is still the autumn 2023 season, and we're nearing the end of it all, slowly but surely. We're nearing the last week. It's the final days of week 6. A few more games have to be played this week as well. 2 at once, in fact, today. Both in TF2 1 and 2, we have a game each. Over here, we'll have 3.5 stars against Varmkorv Boogie, and if there's any dreams of players left, it might not be only in these teams' hands to help them get there, but they still need to win tonight. I'm not here alone, Beatdown Production, and with me on the mic will be Dave.
Yeah, it's meant to be Turbo Tabs tonight, but sadly he's running a little bit late, so I think I'll be taking at least the first map here. But interested to see these teams haven't got so much this season. But yeah, as you say, both these teams are, I mean, it's definitely against them, I think. 3.5 stars are surprisingly, they're actually bottom of the table right now. And Varmkorv have had some good results, but I've also had quite a few losses, so it's difficult for them to make playoffs. But as you say, it is still just about on the table, I think.
Pretty much, yeah. With 6 points on the line tonight, there's still a big swing you could make. In fact, it is Varmkorv Boogie that could technically still tie up with Warfare fences right now. Those guys, however, a game behind that they're catching up today against Havoc. That Havoc also needs to win very badly. The way I see it is, the second anyone clears past 21, you're pretty much safe as well. Gada is like barely still able to do that with a straight win, but you rely heavily on exactly the Germans and 4 fans losing the rest of the total free matches they still have left between the two of them. It's just leaving it up to really bad circumstances at this point. It's been a close season. At the end, though, the only real thing that happened is that a lot of teams tied, but there weren't that many upsets looking back on it now, right? Everyone up top either tied against teams below them or just beat them in the end. With the sole exception currently still being that Varmkorv Boogie beat Gada, but is still behind them, which can change today, and just mean that no one choked against the team below them. Varmkorv Boogie on their first season in Prem would be a pretty impressive finish if they were to at least get to 5th place, which they still have a good chance to. Would be a pretty big accomplishment, I would say, for newcomers. I think the only team that has managed to have a finish like this in my recent memory was the Man in the first season, well before this roster, where they also got 5th.
Yeah, I mean, I think the overall level of Prem is probably a little bit lower this season, mainly because Witness aren't there. But as you say, you know, Varmkorv probably didn't have super high hopes going into the season, although, yeah, as you say, the level being lower means it is more competitive, it is easier to get some points on the board, but it looks like we're going into things.
Yeah, we'll have an interesting two maps. It's Metalworks and Sultry, and I have seen the franchise on Sultry before. I don't remember Varmkorv on it, so I have to assume this might be map 1 picked by the side of Varmkorv, but don't have concrete knowledge on this. We'll see just how the performances go here in this match. Mind you, everyone in the lower half of the table could still get last, too. The points are really, really close with this many ties having been accomplished this season, so as much as they're currently in 5th, they still could fall back completely to last place for Varmkorv despite being so far ahead. So we'll see how that develops from now on. Varmkorv losing a player early does not bode well for them here. Lose a guy pretty quick. Aaron Spear taking down as well. And there's the follow-up immediately by the Frenchies. 3.5 stars. Cleans up beautifully over the point. Second end opening. They will take it to the bank. Full sweep for them. And maybe I was wrong. Maybe the Frenchies wanted to see metal. This mid-fight looking good.
Yeah, I was looking at Zio quite a lot in that mid-fight, though. He just walked straight just out of the banana area into the first soldier Scar. He then just got completely caught flat-footed by the other soldier Ruff following up. So, yeah, kind of rough one for Zio on that mid, and quite good aggression by the Frenchies means now they do have a considerable advantage to push into last. There is a sentry gun they're going to have to deal with. There is a heavy as well, so off-class is for the defense, but the Uber is imminent.
Yeah, this is a good chance to take here straight from main. It looks like Demo Jump in deep scout to see if there's any easy targets. Entry already forced such position a little bit, but only takes space so far. Not much point time at all, and certainly not much damage either. This Uber just kind of falls flat pretty quickly. It went in so committed with the Demo jumping deep, but in the end, half of them aren't even getting back out again either. So much Enthusiasm into last, and none of it left at the end of the Uber charge. Varmkorv doesn't quite have charged yet, but there's 3 down. Plenty space for attacking as the Frenchies fall all the way back from second. Even can't hold this watch any longer. Will have to give up more space, and there's still a chance you just take mid easily as well. There's a Demo man down. Have to watch out though. That doesn't mean no one's fighting back. Big damage coming through. And that will be the force just from drop down onto the medic. Nice simple stuff right there. No one covered their flanks, though they just tunnel visioned a bit too much, seeing something to push on and didn't really think about it much more.
That was really smart from Raf. He just peeked in across the bridge, saw that the medic and the demo wasn't in front of him, so he just immediately assumed they were going to be underneath, going the underpass. Takes the drop down, gets the force out, and there we go. That's exactly what they want. And now the Frenchies, they're having to back up a little bit. They're having to kite here. QB gets a nice frag onto Omga. Arantri does get it out of there just about for now. He's on so low health. Gonna have to land on another health back to escape for now, but Patchouli does have the Uber race to go.
Huge one by Scar. Once again, just tunnel vision on Varmkorv. They were so busy trying to help the soldier get all the life from this one. And in the meantime, just from the other side into mid, second soldier flies in. Scar cleans up the demo man, just eyes on alleyway, no eyes on the right side of the point. Didn't see the soldier coming whatsoever. 2 down already. Explosive damage is severely lacking. Heavy is trying to take some attention away from that, but in forward spawn you can't have too much of a presence. What they do have is an Uber, and a lot of faith in this working. Take the exchange. Your spawns are coming up. They will be back to the fight, but you still have to bank on this Uber, just keeping the space you have here, because otherwise even with respawns it's tough to regain it later down the line. Damage is looking pretty alright. In fact, combo is very, very weak, but the Scout do brilliant damage on the left side there. QB and Juxta teaming up, getting 2 kills between the two of them. Still lost space, but once they buff up, maybe it's time to repush. It's taking so long though, and Raf trying to just buy space for the rest of the team to get in the meantime is the first one to go down. Deli with a good shot at the medic, hits one pipe, was to follow up. The 2 down, it's just severely lacking here a little bit. And they're not getting the kills that they really try to focus down. It's a really, really sketchy fight. Both teams really scared by the end of it. Everyone's kind of weak, everyone's down a couple players. Looks like the Frenchies just aren't unable to actually regain the space. Raf tried to get in early at the beginning of this post-super fight, but just no one was in time to help the soldier out, and finally, Varmkorv boogie's hanging in there, just barely.
Yeah, it looked a bit dodgy for Varmkorv there for a while, though, only really kind of going straight in through, onto the point aggressively that way. No one was getting in through the flank, but eventually just about doing enough damage to try to show the Frenchies back. They're looking to continue now, though, with Scar going down, probably just stall their aggression for a little bit. Arantri goes in for a counter second, that actually does get the nice little force out of Patchouli, so now Frenchies are going to have to run up back to mid because Zia has an Uber ready to go, and they're going to take full advantage of that.
Alright, this is gotta be good enough now, right? They fumbled a bit early into mid this time around. Should be a little bit easier here in theory. In practice, there's still 6 up, and look at the 2 of them immediately onto the flank, try to test the lucky, but Omga is just jumping all over them. The silliest hiding spot sometimes has the greatest results. Spots them right away, they don't see him whatsoever in the little corner there. Will get them a kill, and then some. The second one coming through of this as well. Advantage still there, it took a second, but not long enough to be of major consequence, and all said and done, this second point's looking ripe for the taking.
Yeah, Arantri, nice indeed, but actually both the soldiers are going in, just pinning the Frenchies out of this fight. They have just about back to class level. Actually got all 6 men out there. They have got their Uber up as well, so just bought themselves enough time. Centrigan going up now, but I think Varmkorv will be fully aware that the Uber will be ready, and they'll be looking to find a way to break a stalemate now.
We'll see how they can do this one. Metalworks can be very difficult to break at times, but it's not the full setup. But on the flip side, even if it's not the full setup, they're all far back, difficult to reach as well. Soldiers have to get really far in and take so much damage. Getting any closer to the combo is not going to make it easy at all, even with the lack of a good setup without off-classes really being too much of a presence. However, as you see all the times here as well, how much do you dare to pick out the last? They don't even do that much, but immediately just caught off guard by a little sticky trap up on the ceiling, and is that good enough to do something with it? Just 1 scout down, but I mean, that's still 1 guy protecting the medical last potentially.
Yeah, still a couple of spawners coming up for Varmkorv here. They're actually going to bring QT up on the sniper class. So, I mean, QB's up now, but they do have that off class, and that's probably what we're going to be relying on to try and break the stalemate. Going to have this shutter open point. He does see a demo man, but actually I think he went for Scar there, but doesn't hit enough damage, doesn't hit a headshot. And now they're aware of the sniper, it's going to be much more difficult for him to find an angle onto what presumably you would be ideally a medic pick, but maybe a demo could work as well.
Certainly so, but quick pause before that happens. Looks like we'll see if we can sit and identify what it might be, but it's not looking like an obvious disconnect before the pause. However, It is Varmkorv calling for it. Whatever that might mean as well. I don't think any one of the best players is historically climbing out a lot. So it could be anything, really. Hard to say. Well, it's not the most eventful game just yet. I mean, the interactions between the mid-trades certainly have been pretty interesting, to say the least. But I don't know how much that will translate into last, and really, maybe it just comes down to UGV sniping. They did put a lot of faith into the sniping ability of UGV as well on product, I believe. So we'll see if that can continue to work out. And then they put errantry on scout as well. Didn't quite go that easily for them, but it didn't look bad overall. Just, you know, everyone Prem seems to be pretty good at COF this time around this season, so just having the good sniper team is maybe just not enough anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good on the sniper from what I've seen, UG, and it's actually kind of an interesting position we're paused in right now. We've got Impo as so on the far right hand side, does have stickies above him if he does peek into that, but he's just trying to spam Scar down. Scar does jump out of there as we do come out for that unpause, but there's a lot of space here for the sniper of UG, but just everyone hiding round the corner, so not too much opportunity to get any headshots in.
Yeah, it just really shows like why so many last holds have devolved into front wall holds, like Process for example as well. Snakewater oftentimes has it as well. It's just, you have to go so far in to get an angle at the actual combo. As long as anyone is still spamming the doors whatsoever, it's just so tough to really get a good shot at anything. Even if you're not the sniper, just soldier spam, demo spam. Getting to the gun at least is already difficult enough in these situations most times. Let alone getting a good snipe here, which, I mean, sure, you might only need the one, but you're like getting this far when they know what they're doing in the defense most times as well. And you can see even on, especially on this map as well, you have this little high ground area here, this little shack to stand on, where the red soldier can just shoot down on you as well, making it even more difficult to really get a good peek going whatsoever. It can be tough, but you know what the objective is. It's just a matter of figuring out how you get there at this point.
Yeah, and Juxta is playing the counter sniper himself. Doesn't have a buff, so he's vulnerable to headshot, but the spam onto Huge here has actually been pretty impressive, so he hasn't been able to really consistently peek. Omga's been caught as well, so probably going to want to back out there, but actually Delhi is picked up with a nice little snipe from Huge as they peek out into the lobby area, but surely now with their demo man down they'll go back.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day with last points like this as well, it often results into, you know, just seeing how much you can throw in and what will actually cause them to do a counter reaction. As timer's getting low, maybe they don't even bother that much anymore, certainly with the demo down they will not at all. However, that just further increased pressure now on the flip side back to Varmkorv, who, I mean, at some point we will just see Uber come out, and I'm always mad when the final seconds Uber actually just works, because we could have seen it so much sooner, but I can understand why, of course, reasoning being that if there's not enough time for them to push out again, then you have nothing to lose if you just go all the way in with no holds barred. It makes sense. It's better to have people wait for only 5 minutes and 10, I guess, so that's just a nice consequence of the shorter round time as we have these days, I suppose, but still, time's ticking. Varmkorv needs these points. Oh, there we go. Yeah, UG is just taking pot shots now, hoping to get past the gun here, but no chance to get past that. What will it take now? I assume we're spawning Scout again? Yeah, that's not too surprising to see at the end of the day. You want to go in for a final last second Uber, you probably don't want to snipe in the back. Jax is still making sure to spy check, but nothing to see here. It's just going to be a good old-fashioned Uber exchange.
Yeah, they're taking their time, just 40 seconds left on the clock. Here we go, Uber in onto Impo. It's going to take the majority of it. Does take out the sentry gun, but very, very well milked by the Frenchies. But now they're taking some damage though before the Uber is even coming out, but Patchouli still hasn't have to pop. Nice little bombing from Ox does force that Uber out, but that's about all they get. 20 seconds left for one last attempt, but there's only 4 men to do it with.
And that's the annoying part. If you leave yourself a bit more time, maybe 30 seconds before you do this play, it gives you the option to have a much better repush now as well. Better is still relative here. It's still going to be heavy in the back and some plenty stickies all over the place that make it difficult to get in. Couple that with just generally good awareness on the forward position by the soldier and the scout to clean up one more each. Varmkorv boogie will not have the time or resources to break this last damage. Metalworks proving once again, last points are really cool. And we'll have to see if something else eventually can break the push. I mean, at this point, it's going to be the standard Snakewater procedure where you just got to win the fight on second.
Yeah, exciting gaming moments as as we go to another mid-fight because no one could actually work out how to push the last point and how to win a round. So here we go, another opportunity. Sky, ooh, thought about going for something fast, but didn't quite hit it right. Now we're going to find a little bit of space. Sky is actually going to pin Rancher out of the fight, but maybe an opportunity. Impo's starting to get across the point now. He's going to get a lot of damage down onto Delhi. Push everyone back. Zio eats it and spam himself, and he's going to have to back up to a health back, but it looks like Varmkorv have the better of the position.
I'm impressed, to say the least, that Xio survived on any of this. Walked face first into 3 stickies, did the scout didn't have time to clear as well, just to take position that they didn't keep much at all, but the bit of forward position they did have made all the difference apparently. As careful as we were on last, they're still careful on mid, maybe not on second though. The bombs are coming in deep, they know they gotta win the push somewhere, better win it early. Nice little air shots by Scar, big rockets coming out to just barely make up the loss that they took early in this fight, but Omega relentlessly chases one more player back into lobby, and they're not giving up just yet. They take the Uber exchange early on this one. In fact, it's an exchange too. I was thinking maybe just an force as well, but they had the combo all the way forward with that, not just the scout alone. That is their Uber gone too, and the spawners will come up any moment, and with no space taken just yet, they might have wasted this charge a little too early.
It's a little bit unfortunate. Zio wasn't quite on the same wavelength as the rest of the team. I think he wanted to go aggressively and just take the Uber exchange forward and utilise the fact they had the extra players, but everyone else wanted to kite and just get the force out. And what it ended up being is Zio just ended up in front of the red Uber, popping onto basically no one, having to chase Delhi. Didn't get anything of it, didn't get any position, so it ended up working out pretty well for the Frenchies overall.
It is looking very nice indeed here, but back to throwing everything we have in the last. It goes. Soldiers caught in the air for quite a bit there and cannot get past the gun, let alone the rest of the spam here either. Will take forever to even get the gun down as well, but they're catching the engineer with it. Suddenly there's 2 down each. This gives you a little bit more breathing room on the blue side. If just for a moment here the off-justices are down, what are you doing with this? Are we just taking the exchange? Looks like it, yeah?
No scouts, no up.
Oh, demo down as well!
Take out the demo man. Rafa is going to have the Uber forked out onto him. It's going to be slightly later. Oantra is going to get caught in behind as well, and so Varmkorv might have to evacuate. The heavy weapon's just finding a long-range kill onto Hugi. And now, actually, see how aggressive the Frenchies are. They're going to catch Impo as well. He's really sold out by the rest of his team. They do get Zio out to safety. They are going to retain an even Uber situation, but second is back in French control.
Very unfortunate there, but Uber exchange would go a long distance to just remain into last at the end of the whole fight there, but just couldn't keep space at all. Once the heavy's up, you're not going to get it back either, certainly. And now the Frenchies on the flip side here didn't have nearly as many chances as Varmkorv, but who cares if we have less, as long as we can make them count. However, get a clean entry into mid. Damage is pretty good, but where are the kills? Scar, QB, they're just falling one by one. Varmkorv all weak, but the focus fire just cleanly better overall. The chase is all medic. Barely escapes scout number 1, but little did they know, there's a second one right below them. Hugi, little late for the Met here as well, but Delhi will still go down. And as nice as the Petruti kill would be here, at the very least, it prevents them from losing mid. In fact, it gets them second back as well. Maybe they will be kicking themselves for not getting the medic there, because that would solve every problem they had the last 15 minutes.
That was a beautiful serve by Petruti in a really dangerous situation. Got out with a sliver of health and put himself in a position where he couldn't be taken out. But they're on the point now. Actually, Scout is on there. He's going to surf his own way out of there. He does get a slightly later force out of the French boys, but despite the amount of cap time, they do escape for now, and it's going to be only a very, very tiny advantage for Zio to work with.
Yeah, both teams have to build as fast as possible as well. Frenchies must be well aware of the fact they are barely behind, and they can't let this like 10% disadvantage was become like 30 for no reason by just building badly as well. But I don't know if we have a whole lot of building going on just now as well. I think Delhi is trying as hard as the demo man can with the katana, and that's about all they have here. In the meantime, Varmkorv busy at work, getting to 100 as quick as can. They need to push early though, they need to bluff this a little bit, which is dangerous because they're sticky trapped and you can't pop passes when you don't have it. So there's the Uber coming through, 90 on Petruti already. Something has to die to this, but it's not happening. Cap time is dangerous. Rav gets there early, the soldiers playing their role very well, just defending the point while the Uber comes up. Playing with small margins here, especially in the point like Metalworks last, where it's so difficult to actually block the point sometimes, but it just about will work out. Varmkorv couldn't find a kill, which is bad enough as is, but just didn't get to point fast enough either. And it just will ruin the chance here.
very, very well managed defense, just building optimally. It was a 15% advantage, but that is very difficult to push as we just saw. And with the good building on the defense, the right players just cycling back into spawn as the damage came in, the right players going into block as the Uber just about came out for.
They're dying on mid again though. Raft gets the medic,
it's
could be the
so
silver lining,
undeadly.
but he doesn't get past the demo man either.
Bit of a disaster overall. 3 players down now, no explosives, just the 2 scouts and the medic. So it's going to be Varmkorv surging forward with the bit between their teeth, looking to go aggressive. They might even be able to go in for a force, but no, just stacking it up on the second cap. And sadly, despite all that, it's going to be back to last for the Frenchies. They've spent a lot of time on this last point themselves.
Yeah, you're gonna be kicking yourself if you have this many chances, can't convert any. I mean, if anything, credit to Patchouli here for just surviving any and all bad attempts into mid every single time, versus the team have to maybe step up the work a little bit on the midpoint, but Patchouli is doing whatever one man can to keep this round alive. Here's the plays coming in, they're just throwing bodies in now, we're seeing what stakes, get Scar, get the gun, brilliant damage so far, but it's just not on the medic, and it's not a lot of cap time that forces out position just yet. Delhi disconnected though as well, it's 2 down each, and this is where Patchouli's position just becomes a whole lot more threatened. Yeah, Hugely goes point as well. How do we take this fight? Oh, Hugely gets dropped from this as well. There's a universe where Xio just has to not use and hope to survive, but taking too much damage early will not allow that to happen. And the chance where this is just going to be a vastly better Uber later is just kind of escaped him already. Scout in late, Omga hoping for the bestie. Maybe you get a kill. At the very least, you make sure everyone else survives, but that was working so well for so long for Varmkorv. It's just, you have to go in so far to actually threaten the point in that position that it's so tough for the medic to get out unscathed.
Yeah, but now the Frenchies are looking to pressure into second. Yuki is not quite caught in the flank area. Actually, a nice bombing tarantula, and perfectly onto Patchouli, takes him out with a clean rocket, and despite pretty much everything else going disastrous for Varmkorv, they do get that important medic frag to equalise things somewhat into a kind of an unstable situation now. Still no medic, still no heals as this mid-cap does come in by the Frenchies. So maybe an opportunity for Varmkorv to push just about before Patchouli gets there, or maybe they'll just play a little bit slower and wait for the super.
The errantry is just constructed differently sometimes as well. It jumps past the scout to get in there on the flank and just gets to the medic anyway, undeterred by whatever's in front of him. And that's the energy they needed, baby, here. How to use him to mid though is really bad news, really early as well. Look at that, everyone's getting out in time, save for the guy forcing Lieber to begin with. Raph will go down. It's not a lot to play with him to mid and to second. But again, like, the chances haven't been great yet. You gotta do what you can at this rate, but they're looking very afraid. They're not quite at Lieber yet, but Varmkorv certainly feels already that Lieber will come in any moment and just sits back, lets them get the last percentages while building themselves. I mean, building effectively has been pretty good, we've seen earlier, so at least that part's not a bad idea, but you've really got to make sure they waste Uber now as well, so you get a second chance.
Yeah, when it's like 25% Uber advantage like this, you can't really afford to take it slow. You probably just have to pop
Oh,
when you see the
down.
opportunity. But yes, Scar going down before the Uber is even really up for Patchouli does pretty much completely shut things down. And I imagine now they'll just have to settle back to second, have to settle for an even Uber's situation. And honestly, it's back on Varmkorv to do the aggressive play, and the Ox is in, looking for something, they're looking to make some space. Gonna provide some space for his demo man, but Rantria gets caught in the meantime, and it's actually aggressive plays into house here by the Frenchies.
Yeah, let's get the force out as well. Just late exit from Xio gets spammed down by Pipes, will go down to like 20 HP, has to use pretty much. You can't risk it much more than that. And the Frenchies just kind of sat there relaxing, and it worked out on every front. One flank player got killed early, couple that with the spam on the combo, and it's just falling apart from Varmkorv boogie, who might just become a little bit impatient here, wanted to take it a little bit too deep without using, thinking they could get away with it. Not going to be the case whatsoever, and it just is turning against them badly now. This is what I was thinking about might happen here. The Frenchies had like basically no chances to last just yet, but if they just convert one, it doesn't matter how much control of the game Varmkorv boogie had so far.
Does catch a pipe there, but nothing really else to follow it up, so he's going to safely walk his way into second onto the cap. So yeah, just about up the Uber, but with that one frag on Rantria does allow some space, but actually Delhi gets caught, I think, by a trap there from Info. So now, once more, it's just a player down, backing up giving the space back up and waiting for that spawner to come back before any more aggression is going to come back in from the French team.
Alright, as we head into the stalemate, once again worth mentioning, 4 Fans vs Havoc is being streamed on teamfortress.tv 1 right now. And here's the spoilers, don't listen to it if you don't want to, but you should probably also have that stream open. And that result is, mind you, very important to this game right now, because 4 Fans has already lost map 1 to Havoc on Bagel. And the only way anyone here makes playoffs in any of these lower 4 teams is if either 4 Fans or the Germans are losing the last games they have left. Which means this is directly good news for anyone involved here, as long as someone wins, which no one is currently. That's the complication in the matter. Both of these teams really want a full 6-point sweep tonight, if they can have it, to start catching up a little bit. 4 Fans is throwing them a freebie here, but you still gotta get into last at some point. Frenchies now with their chances finally starting, but not starting off a lot better than what Varmkorv boogie had done so far.
Yeah, they went in for the double soldier bomb there, but Impo has basically just put stickies on that lamp the whole time. I don't even think he successfully got the debt onto the soldiers, but they were ready for them. There was a sentry gun, there was a heavy shooting upwards, and going to be difficult for them to find too much at the moment. I mean, it's mostly been themselves on their last point, but now opportunity for them to try and break this open. But Impo's kind of sneaky little trap kill onto QB. Once more, just slowing stuff down, and every frag here or there just buys yourself an extra 20 or 30 seconds. It's only kind of those 5 minutes, as we saw earlier, that you have to defend for.
Very much. Another pause as well is very concerning to ever see a second pause, really. Last time there was no disconnect, so we don't know what happened realistically, and I don't see a disconnect here either in my feed, so it's hard to say what this pause might be for, quite frankly. It is the Frenchies calling it this time. As long as it's not a gas leak, I think we're fine though.
Maybe people are answering the door for the pizza guy. They've got a
that'd be best to eat. And you'd love to be in that position, I guess. That's good problems to have. Yeah. I mean, realistically, in the last game on Metalworks, surely you can just go AFK and get the pizza real quick, right? What's gonna happen realistically? True. Time has proven it's probably fine.
Like certainly half of the attacking team. Maybe if you're a medic, you wanna stay.
You probably could get away with it if you have the auto beam on.
True.
Just have people walk in front of you and take turns.
Yeah, mercifully short pause as we do come back into this very action-packed game. As we're seeing right now, there's a level 1 sentry being built right now. Everyone from the 3.5 stars team is back out in second, not even really peeking into lobby too much. Now they're starting to maneuver their way back into position. Both soldiers getting buffed up. Imagine we're going to see another attempt at a double soldier bomb. Delhi's prodding in forward, looking to make some space. Both soldiers going again with the trap. It's they're going to get some damage down. Sadly, I think it was mainly onto the dispenser. Do get the dispenser frag, but nothing else for their troubles.
Will work out quite nicely. That's at least one down. To just sit a little bit safer with on the last point for a little bit longer. And I mean, ultimately, they only have to sit here so long themselves. They know that from first-hand experience. And realistically, right, dragging this to a Golden Cap that you might eventually win is still better news for Varmkorv than for the Frenchies, since Varmkorv is already ahead in points a little bit here, but catching up still will be difficult, even with whatever happens in the other game. You need these points. Because now Havoc is catching up too, mind you. They're now also at 12 with Varmkorv boogie together. And they can still get 3 more points as well tonight, so want to start catching up a little bit here. The snipe will help out surely. Usually wasn't able to shine on last on the other side of the map so much maybe, but one shot, one opportunity taken right away will certainly make this look a whole lot more comfy on last. Okay, production is reminding us that there's a conch in play. However, I have not seen a single good conch in the last 8 months, so I refuse to believe this will matter.
You'd be mistaken for thinking banners still exist after the battalions was banned, but yeah, no one's really been using banners too much, but it makes sense in this defensive scenario. He is up at 100% now, so they do have that fallback, but so much damage is done onto that entry as they're going for this Uber trade. If they drop QB before it, don't get anything for it. There's still an Uber raise to go, there's still a Contra raise to go, there's still revenge crits for Omga, so just about everything you could possibly want for a defense, and even the sentry gun going back up now.
So, biased question, I know, but what if we just replace this map with Granary next season? Wouldn't that just make the map rule better?
But one person in the ETF2L Discord hates Granaries, so we can't play that ever.
Yeah, but Demo said only bad people don't like Granary, and I agree, because it confirms my opinion. So therefore, I think that guy's wrong.
There is a spy on the field, but he dies before he can get the bags up. And everyone else just dies to push somehow.
I mean, do you push this now? This is the real question. Do you keep going here, Blue? They have to use Evo to not get melted by this heavy, and they still do, actually. What? Okay, they're just throwing. Go back to me. Don't even cap this point anymore.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you wouldn't cap. You know, unless you have the Uber.
Yeah, they've realized that this is such a bad idea. They're 2 down. They're gonna get rolled 1 second if they fight back.
Somehow that heavy that was pretty much the only one alive in a second.
Realistically, it was Xio that messed up because Xio tried to melee people in doing Libra, which means no one could flash.
The heavy got 2 kills and the force. That was pretty impressive stuff. But either way, we're back at another mid fight. No one can fight around. And there's only 4 minutes left for the team. So that does mean at least there's no more opportunity for a round reset.
That is certainly true. End of timer just means end of game at this point. Let's see how the mid fight goes. This is mid fight number 3, despite what the scoreline might suggest here as well. And Delhi is getting big damage right away as well. However, both matches go down. This means it's a fight for survival. Demo getting rushed by Hugie, has backup in the form of Juxta. Omga in the low ground still gets one more, but that means also they're just stuck on bad position now as well. And Juxta is making them feel that. Shoots down on Omga, gets the kill. No chance for him to get back up again. Might be able to sneak 1 kill here after all. Daddy's below 100, but Juxta not so much. The man's not even going in. We're just capping the point, wrapping this one up. We take our chances as nicely as we can in the midpoint, and we will help a lot from here on out.
Yeah, Raph seems to have Zio's number on these mid fights. Just seeing that beam and just landing on the doorway exactly as Zio's walking through is very, very difficult for a medic to play in that scenario, which is just over the top of you. But this time Raph goes in for a bomb, finds some space in a second, but is picked up pretty quickly now, so that should be Varmkorv looking to re-aggress towards this mid. And they don't have to worry too much. Only one soldier spamming from the low ground. No bombs are going to be coming in for quite a while, but Ox does get caught on Rantry. It's going to go down as well, so it's going to ping pong straight back into Frenchy aggression.
Sober still in there, gets taken down eventually. No kill onto the medic just yet, but Xio's in such bad spot here as well. What a busy up top. There's just Scout walking in, gets that medic down as well, but they're not in a good position either. Medic can rush that on the low ground here as well, on the flank. Does survive, but Judy takes 100. That's about it. With 2 minutes left, an advantage into second. This is quite frankly the best position to last we've seen all game.
Varmkorv, they had the extra player, they had the extra combat classes, but they didn't really have the health to want to commit there. I think Patchouli was quite low himself, so definitely opportunity had they really taken it, had they, you know, had the bit between their teeth, if they had they didn't fear really, but unfortunately did a little bit, so they're just going to back up to last. And
what?
Oh, Omga peeking out from that little flank area and finding the shot onto Patchouli. Important one, that one.
Alright, Chad, who do you think will win the Golden Cap 16 minutes from now? When we get to the next mid fight. Because that could go anyone's way, really.
Yeah, it's at times doesn't look like we're going to get around in regulation time, but maybe if there is a failed push out here.
Raph making move on the flank, hold up.
Just thinking about something.
But the spy is back as well. Oh no. This is such an annoying spy to have right now as well. You have 2 kills and you banked it on the spy play before this happens.
They're trying to move in from the right hand side.
It's a good distraction for the spy though.
Nice air arrow onto Ox, but yeah, the spy does get the force out though, out of Zio. And Patchouli, because of that, is going to have a 50% Uber advantage to work with. But only 33 seconds left on the map, I guess that is.
Yeah, maybe it's still doable, but it's cutting it really close. UG quickly back to engineer. You just want everything on the field you can. 20 seconds. There's not a lot of time here, but enough to just get in, kill some people, and get on the point. Have to do all of this very quickly though as well, and this is what teams need to show how good they really are if you can do all this well in this little time. Scar goes down early with the soldiers on top of the point, just mowing things down below them here. The cap is plenty. Everyone needs to step on this so quickly. It's making it dangerous, but the heavy gets there in time. Just barely. This is the real threat of this map sometimes. You have to actually stand on the point. If you jump in any capacity, you are not blocking this thing anymore. And everyone barely even got there in time on Varmkorv boogie to claw this at least to this one Golden Cap.
Yeah, just no one could work out how to push to the last point. That was definitely the closest we come in that kind of last 20 seconds. A certainly very decent attempt. They got players on the point. They got some caps on him. Some good flashes as well, I have to say, out of Patchouli to keep, I think it was Jux, the scout, just dodging and diving around that point, but wasn't quite enough. They didn't really secure that. If they got earlier frags onto those defensive soldiers, I think it could have worked out, but just didn't quite get the damage or the kills that they required, and because of that, that heavy just came in at the end and was enough to block it.
I think, quite frankly, I think Patchouli had the most chances to look like the best player on the server today. Man was put through the ringer and came out on top most times, I will say. So that's not a bad performance at all. But all that to just get the 1 point so far certainly is a bit disheartening here as well. If nothing else, that means Varmkorv is back ahead of Havoc for the time being. That is currently still just the fight for 5th, however, if they don't start either of them winning some more maps now, the last 3 maps they have left between the two of them. Because otherwise it might very much stay behind the Germans and 4fans.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's the bragging rights of not having the wooden spoon not finishing last.
Oh yeah, very much.
Maybe you can, if there's not really relegation these days. It's kind of like if you want to play Premier and end up playing Premier most of the time, but maybe you could have a higher seed in any playoffs there will be next season, any qualifiers there will be next season. But yeah, not too much to play for. It looks like tonight, but I guess that's why neither team's really bringing their A game, sadly.
Yeah, Metalworks last is certainly proving to raise some question mark as to why either of these teams picked it currently. This is leaving a lot to be desired on this last point. Not like the map makes it very much easier either, I suppose. But either way, we are going into the Golden Cap as well. After all, someone has to win this map. Neither team really showcasing yet why they deserve to win the map. But the players on mid have been pretty entertaining every single time we got there, a few times we've been, so certainly this mid fight should not be an exception.
Yeah, I'm expecting a fast mid fight and a fast round to just completely change things up from what we've had so far. But it's actually going to be a huge bombing from Raph, landing on input immediately. Andrea's taken it out as well. Just 3 players down now for Varmkorv. They're going to have to back up all the way to last. They're probably going to get Zio out of there, but probably going to have an Uber to last. And yeah, back to where we were not too long ago. It seems we are into Golden Cap now, but not too much has changed overall.
Maybe everything will just stay exactly the same. We'll see. This is still a good chance of all. Xio's really weak. That's the fourth right there. Scar gets past everyone before the gun gets set up. You gotta be quick on these. Counter attempt by Andrew. Tries to follow the medic. Gets the kill out of this as well. Patchouli will go down. And you'd think they push out of this one. I mean, after all we've been through just now, not being on R seems like exactly what you'd want to be, but you gotta be careful. Everyone's still lurking about, the sticky traps around every corner, and the scout's still lurking too in the backline, and the QB's just going behind them. This is how it ends. It's gotta be how it ends. Just one backup.
Rancher is on last, but they're gonna wait for him to go out. QB's gonna stand on the cap and he can't even jump back, and there we go. The only possible way to cap out Metalworks last is to sneak in.
No one has pushed last yet, this entire game.
Yeah.
There has not been one successful last push today. But yet they win, which I guess that takes talent too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just being able to find that opportunity to sneak in that QB did there was, that is a talent in itself. A lot of the very, very best scouts would always just find those openings, would find that opportunity. And at the end of the day, if you only really, when it is a tight game like that, when neither team is successfully converting, you only need that one opportunity. And there we go. I guess it's an extra point based on QB's backup.
Very much. That's gonna get them a little bit high on the tables as well. Back to 11 points, I believe. It's catching up a little bit, certainly better than we were before, but still the long ways to catch up at all at this point. And quite frankly, how many points are left for them this season? 3 today. Another 6 next week, I guess. So if the Frenchies actually have any chance left to playoffs, it requires for fans to not win the second map against Havoc and whoever they play to in next week. I think it's gotta, which is leaving a lot up to chance.
Yeah. Well, difficult, but yeah, we are going to be moving on to a second map now. Which map are we moving on to?
It is Sultry coming up next. I have to fact check actually how much Varmkorv might have played this before. I know Frenchie's been here once or twice.
I'm certainly hoping the second map is going to be more exciting, and to bring the hype, we're going to bring in a hype cast. So TurboTabs is going to hop in for me. So it's been a fun casting with you, Dum Dum, but hopefully you have a more exciting second map with Turbo.
Oh, I doubt it.
It's nice to meet you too, buddy.
Well, it won't be your fault, let's say that much. However, it might be Metalworks' fault, so maybe Sultry will be much better.
Sorry, team. Slow roll out. Coming into for the second map at least. I did catch a majority of the match though, and my god, yeah, that last point in the last back cap. Oh my god! I even saw the little note where. Obviously that last scout managed to weasel past, but there was a soldier respawning, and he even went, okay, no, and he showed one more time of patience, and it paid off for him. It was really, really nice to see.
This game is weird sometimes, isn't it? That's really all that we can draw from this match. Sometimes there's just 30 minutes of gameplay that don't matter at all, and then just one guy goes behind, and it's just all over from there. Okay, I'm fact-checking right now. How many times this map's been played by these teams? And the answer is 1 by the Frenchies here against the other Frenchies, and they lost. So genuinely hard to tell who might have picked this map, to be honest.
It's interesting. This map has actually been picked up and played and actually scrimmed, importantly. Yes. So in theory, these teams should have be in the laboratory at this point and come up with at least ideas or how they want to hold things or a general consensus amongst all the teams. Maybe it's not quite practiced in the way that the best way hasn't been found yet or established by these teams. So you do get these sort of weird butting heads where you play an official match and you notice the enemy team is doing something just a little bit better. Do you change your tactics straight away, or do you just stick with what you've practiced?
Yeah, I've seen some of that, certainly on Entropy especially this season, which I believe I've seen also just more than this map in the games I watched so far. We'll see how Sultry will suit him here as well. You're picking this late for your last chance into playoffs. You better have something ready for us, more than you had on Metalworks last just now. But time will tell who will win between Varmkorv boogie and 3.5 stars on the second map of the night, with the Frenchies barely clutching up the first map. They are giving themselves a last chance towards playoffs, but if this map doesn't pan out well, it is well over for them.
Yeah, it looks like both teams just feeling each other out. No deaths so far. Kind of strange in the land of TF2, but the soldiers can kind of perch themselves on some random bits of rooftop during all this. Put the best Batman impressions, and then finally swoop in for these kills. And I feel like the follow-up is lost amongst both of these teams because they're just trying to find each other. Where are they on this stinking mid?
Well, they find a lot of them in the end, but not the medics just yet. However, with much more...
Oh, well.
Alright, Vida needs some help. I think he needs to press V if he has my config, but I'm not sure if he does.
It's okay. I think the auto-spec sometimes works a bit better sometimes. Who knows?
That's discrediting Vida's work here, unless, he...
I think it was an accurate depiction of how that mid went for both of those teams. They were trying to find each other as much as the auto-direct was trying to find players too.
That was a bit of an awkward one, but... Frenchies just had better position from the get-go, I suppose. and just was able to rain this down a little bit and just stood on the point. And once you're that far forward, it's tough to get back in. Not impossible by any means, but you really got to get something quick. As it stands, back to the same as we are, but mid to second instead of last this time around, just feeling Shiver out for now.
Yeah, it seems like they, on Varmkorv boogie, are taking a very safe approach, just kind of blobbing up on the back and just dealing with whoever jumps in and reveals themselves first. Some teams, I've never really seen anybody hold close to these doors or anything along those lines, so yeah, they just kind of deal with the initial jumper, trying to make the counter push in. They do lose out Ox early on into this push, and they already want to back off here, but Scar's trying to meet them from behind. Doesn't quite work out for them, and the follow-up just isn't there as well. They actually have some agents. Oh, Raph actually does a little staggered kind of sneak around and will get picked off here. 3.5 stars trying to back it up at Choke, but they're throwing too many kitchen sinks in. Now they've got nothing left for the bathroom, and the bathroom is leaking everywhere. Dumb.
That's gonna be the end here. QB is still behind. It has been a disaster before. We'll see if it's good enough now. There's gonna be someone spawning his direction, and it looks like they're just relying on that to at least block the point for long enough and do the rest. It's not gonna quite do it actually. Aaron dies instantly, but just block the point enough to matter. Leaving it up to chance against QB has been not good before, and certainly cutting it close yet again. However, getting Scar here for the price of the Uber Herb, they're popping through, seeing if they can chase them down the long way out to last, and they're just backcapping mid again as well.
Oh no, actually, quick, just Cap's just
QB find the life hack.
The ×6 cap, it does look like the science hasn't been found about what is quicker to cap amongst all this, and because of all of that committal and kind of all in play for 3.5 stars, they've lost that first crucial round at what feels like in these sorts of matchups so far tonight.
Well, I mean, can you blame them for banking it on a backup when it's been the only thing that worked last map?
It's all we know. It's all we know.
Apparently, but this time around it will betray them. The Frenchies go down with the ship, but well, we haven't lifted the harbor yet. There's still a bit of something to salvage here. If nothing else, there's still so much time. You certainly got to take the chances here in a mid-fight. It didn't look so bad last time.
So I don't see any initial jumpers. They're just playing a spam game amongst both of these two teams. The rockets fly from very different angles and strange places than any mid I've seen before. First jumper coming in, that's Ox, straight into the choke area. Does a massive amount of damage, cleans up everybody. That's one for the frag clip.
Where was this all Metalworks? Metalworks made really close, mostly won by the Frenchies, and despite the scoreline, we had multiple. This time round, just coming out swinging right away. Brilliant stuff by Varmkorv boogie, and I mean, any chances they beefed on last were on like into exchanges and stuff like this. You'd be excused for being like a little bit tough to manage those, I guess. But if you beef this now as well, what does it take for you to win the last push?
I swear it's that pit area on this map. Like, that choke is just an absolute death trap, and Ox found the line and did give them a good rubbing, as he has finally Ubered in now, and they cleaned up the sentry gun, trying to deal with any sort of spawners they can find, but they just push them back into spawn. Heavy weapons guy back up for the rest of the team. The focus fire is there, though, for Varmkorv boogie, and they're just trying to pick off any players that aren't attached to that medic class, and truly trying his best to crossbow Deli. Does a valiant job, but not valiant enough. A Uber advantage will lead to a round advantage.
I think we might be getting to another tie this season. As many as there's been, I think we're just getting some more for the last 2 weeks. Varmkorv boogie on pace, do not even have to worry about getting to the Golden Cap and just get all points at this pace. However, gotta keep it up from here, right? Mid-fight was really good, but surely the Frenchies got some confidence into figuring out how they can just prevent the worst case scenario from happening over and over.
Yeah, you've got to put on your best coping hat at this point. You do have 24 minutes if you're on the side of 3.5 stars. It's just 2 rounds, you can say to yourself, as Entry actually taking a U-turn round, trying to deal with these 2 aggressive soldiers. They've completely changed gears over on 3.5 stars to try and mix up these middles, and they're blobbing up over on the side of Varmkorv and just gobbling up what weak players go into the juggler. And they will manage to come out of this a bit prettier than their French compadres.
Will go a little bit better here, but still it's a win for Varmkorv either way. With Patchouli live though, as we've seen in Metalworks, they can hold anything, it looks like, apparently, so this leaves a lot of tension here. However, maybe not on second just yet. Spawn is coming in a little bit late, but maybe just in time to just put enough presence forward to make Varmkorv boogie not walk into this fight on second that would otherwise certainly ensue. Don't want to waste it with this early, want to set this up a little bit more intelligently first if they can help it. What that might look like, well, maybe it involves going the right side here for the flank.
Ox having a quick sticky check as well as trying to kind of push out. He's surprisingly alive to say how much he's in the fight and will finally go down. And I think he's almost baited his team in a way where, you know, your soldier just does that well to survive. You kind of want to support him, but it just left the rest of his players to the death sentence.
Alright, well, that's a bit of a turnaround here. Gets the mid for sure. Spawns will be coming right up. Ooh, not quite. Everyone's back on last.
Oh, no.
That makes a big difference here.
I
If you
wonder
want to
if
just
they
take space, that's huge.
Surely somebody would have taken note of that. They're already jumping in, making space, claiming the area. Raph going straight in, forcing out the Uber charge. That's even better news. And the spawners are back now, but there's no one to really spawn on top of.
Alright, well, it's slow progress maybe for the franchise, but sooner or later it will work out for them here, whittling away. Got mid already, got the Uber equation. Clean entrance into second, might even just translate into last as well if you don't get forced early. That's really what needs to be in Varmkorv's mind at this point. Can you get rid of the Uber at all, or do you have to bank it on their charge into last, not coming up in time before Xeo gets? Getting close, but French is a little slow here, gives them a bit more time to build.
They've used the Uber really early. They want to get on top of them, shock them. They're taking the scout taxi all the way around, trying to cut them off. Can't quite find the medic, however. They'll settle for an Omega instead, but they're going to have to keep these doors pretty close to hand if they want to make sure that the rest of Varmkorv don't get in.
Alright, here's the counter push now, so they might have claimed a point, but with barely one kill and the Uber still up, you want to retake as quick as you can. Once again, the backup threat is being played. That's the main angle they have, and with 2 scouts behind, it is terrifying. They're just winning the fights.
Yeah, they're right on top of the point. There's only a Yimpo on last, and they can't really deal with 2 scouts splitting off at the last point. It's all they know, and it wins.
That's again all you need. They figured out, okay, one guy going behind didn't work. Let's send both. And bank on it working with a bit more firepower. And that certainly just wasn't enough. Killed people that were blocking, and they were there this time around. Just too quick for anyone else to fall back. Well, that's going to make all the difference.
Okay, 21 minutes left. They have not cracked these middles over on 3.5 stars. What sort of gear change are they doing? They're going aggressive again, but this time not really being met with the 2 other soldiers. They are actually going into 3.5 stars. I think they're going to benefit from this greatly, although Entry did kind of stagger when he was going to take his aggression, and because of that, it kind of left 3.5 stars doing nothing on mid past that first jumper.
Alright, there's the point back to blue. Uber's coming up very shortly. The player advantage still in their favor as well. All going well here. Thinking about the forward one as well. I like that a lot, but not enough. So it looks like someone still snuck through. Maybe not in the forward spawn, but all the way behind instead. Raph just hitting the backline. Might have made too much noise actually. Yeah, there we go. I think they spotted him just in time to get this going. In the meantime, they're just throwing everything in. Like you said earlier, there's Spy on the field now as well.
We're rocking the Spy. He's actually going behind. He's trying to finally get the stab down. That was a Spy play that was missing from the previous map, and will pay off this time round. But you do have to push out from last, and if I was Varmkorv boogie, I'd be very, very upset about these backcaps. I'd give them a taste of their own medicine.
Maybe so, I guess, but you got bigger problems to worry about just now, because there is still the Uber coming forward, and a guy behind.
Oh my god, Raph is trying to change map right now. He's going so far and deep. My friend, you need to cap all the other points before you can back cap.
No, he wants to play John Sultry first, and then worry about playing this game.
I mean, they do get a second, mainly for 3 at this point. They've got the Uber charge as well. They can sail this into mid, and with Raph behind and that sort of paranoia, it's got to be kind of annoying. And Raph misses 1 rocket, it's time to bail.
Maybe so. Ox will go down just in time in front of Medic. Cuts off that chance to the force just in time. Yeah, it gets the job done here. Uber advantage will run out though, and I don't think they're fast enough to take this any further.
I mean, they still have the threat of the Uber just a little bit. I think they, unless they have given a lot of credit here, and I think they are. 3.5 stars are just going to cash in the chips now. Throwing in Scar, however.
Oh, big 5 info.
Yeah, it's like a soft safe house, almost that sort of second point on Metalworks with the shutter, but without the shutter.
So not like Metalworks at all.
I mean, it's a box. It defends the medic.
Fair enough. Maybe that's all you need, I guess, at this point.
There's a shutter behind in this resupply. That's the shutter. It's just not on the bit you want to protect the medic with.
Well, I don't know if the shutter will defend you much from the spy, though. Oh, never mind. We're switching off early, actually. Just checking what's up, but they're not committing to it. Or are they? Depending Are still in spawn? No, okay, they changed their minds. I don't know. It's worked before. At this point, why not just try?
Yeah, surely you're hypersensitive to a spy once you've been backstabbed, right? Or does that make you relax again? 'Cause you're like, who's going to go spy twice?
For now, they're just going high, but not very far into last either. And I don't see a good chance on the second one coming through as well. Yeah, Aaron Field quickly brought hits to the flank side. In fact, that's what it sort of was, so no chance to get past that guy whatsoever. Not much presence from the Frenchies here that can get converted either.
These poor soldiers, there's no jumper mains on this team that have really done the homework, know the spots or easy ways to kind of catapult themselves in. Raph goes for it, but he's just receiving way too much hate. Finally, Juxta will go down, who kind of snuck in from the flank, but no real sort of backup or initial damage.
Yeah, none of this working out just yet. I mean, at least as far as the bombs goes, it's kind of the same like wall high jump you go through like Sunshine Choke a lot of the time as well.
Yeah.
Conceptually, it's pretty similar, but realistically, with position and all, like you said, being able to sit back a little bit more in this little building helps out the medic a little bit. Either way, I mean, Varmkorv boogie has the lead and the worst position on the map, so they have the right idea, not trying nearly as hard to get in here as the Frenchies do right now.
I don't know, looking at Varmkorv's positionings, it's, you know, it's not exactly airtight. Everyone's just kind of jumping about and just maybe glancing at doors, glancing at the sky. I feel like there's things that could be abused here if they could just spot it out at 1.3.5.
Maybe. As it stands right now, they're peeking and peeking as much as they can, but it needs a full bomb to come through. Soldier does not get the one they wanted there. Scar barely even living that to begin with. I guess that's a silver lining in this one, but still, it's not finding what it needs to.
It is a troubling map. I'm trying to think if there's any place you could uniquely jump off. It does make me wonder if these like sort of wall decals, the pipes or anything, get in the way in the traversal. Maybe you could just use some sort of chicanery there. There we go. There's the jump in coming out from Scar and Wrath, but again, can't quite get on top of things. Juxta just walks in. He's tired. He's bored. He's dead.
Alright, that's one down, maybe some more to go. I mean, at some point you might want to take a chance out of second, but so far the last points have been going so far. I don't know if that's where we're heading at this point. Especially not with how it's been going so far, this push as well. Varmkorv is peeking a little bit. Are they actually quitting at all? Impo is certainly looking like it, but no one else is, so this is not going to go anywhere just yet. They're playing it really, really safe.
No, they want to try for another mid, and I can understand that. The 3.5 stars mids have not been kosher. They've not been great. Not really been a 5-star experience, so they're going to just go for an easy sort of retry at mid. But I mean, give enough people enough sort of chances, you know, keep rolling that dice. Eventually, they're going to come up with, you know, something other than Snake Eyes.
Spy up again is I don't want to say the solution, but certainly it's an option. With time running out though, you're leaving it up to very little time to set it up here as well. Raph making the distraction play.
Is checking every now and then behind. Oh, he's spy!
Good thing they did. Raph couldn't get much, but could get all the way back out again. And Raph lives that, and you get the medic there, you're just in again instantly.
Well, 40 seconds left. It's almost entering that territory where teams are just going to push in for the sake of it, and if things don't work out, then let it be. It was a nice attempt by Ox, but just not really enough time in the world with all these bodyguards around him. They pop in the Uber charge now, they want to kind of do an Uber exchange, and they actually may have a more fortunate Uber if they get in this sort of behind position, but it's just receiving way too much spam, and the medics are taken out now. Now they just need to blob up around Shio to make sure that person does not go down, and yep, it's safe. They actually may be able to get into mid in time. Yeah.
There's their captain, exactly what they were looking for as well. Sometimes patience gets rewarded. Frenchies did not want to give up mid, and Varmkorv, I mean, we've seen them last before Metalworks. Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah,
just
it looks like
long game.
Looks like the calculator over in French lands are just running a bit slow. You know, maybe they need to carry the 2.
The control point is being captured.
That's all you need here, all the way back to the opponent's second goes, and the advantage is still there. This could just be a round straight away.
Yeah, 80%, pretty much ready, just posturing for the Uber charge on the dot. Looks like they want to go through, oh no, go through lower. and avoid that initial damage. There is some stickies though that won't come into the equation. The sentry gun will be quickly dealt with, and Delhi already been identified, and they don't even need to identify anyone. They've identified the point. 3-1 is the score.
That is. I mean, we've seen on Metalworks, right? You're not winning these rounds on last. You're winning them anywhere else. You just get the advantage way earlier and just ride it all the way home.
It's a very open point as well, so I feel like even if you were a soldier and kind of jumping about, it's hard to kind of, pin somebody in with rockets, or you can dodge about, A very open last point, sorry.
Well, let's see how open the mid-fight is right now for these teams to get their bombs across, get a big advantage early. The advantage early has been how they've been winning round just now as well. Anyone gets the bomb, that's huge. Not big commit just yet. Cooper tries to take something out of a point. Is really weak, however, health not really good at all on the blue side here. Bomb still comes in anyway. Ox tries to buy them some space. Can't hit much damage. Turns a few heads maybe, but still enough. Airfield right on top of them as well. Just wants to shoot down on anyone close to the team, but it's not working out too much. Ox from back, just played the long game. Get air shot out the sky, but help 3 people get killed, and that's plenty of work being done by the soldier.
Everybody was low on everybody there, just kind of taking turns on who just has their health munched, and not really any sort of cleanup or focus fire. I guess comms must have been hectic for both teams, as somebody would commit a lot amount of damage, but no one could find up the follow. They actually respond with an overcharge. They want to exchange things out, but I say they want to exchange things out, they just kind of blank them at mid, and there's no need to use. They finally use the overcharge now. It seems QB works better without a glowing charge onto him, and they will be a mission accomplished. To go back into second, though, they're committing to take out Shio.
Xio goes down with that as well. They got exactly what they wanted. Ra finds the kill, but this is just maybe going to turn a bit of a sack wave here. Is anyone ready for this, though? Not just Omga.
Yeah, they're worried about the back cap, so they kind of started panicking, throwing everybody back, get that scout, and they did get him, but it's kind of lost the momentum into second.
Alright, background, the momentum goes a little bit. Patchouli has good ad, but they're far from having yet, so if you want to take a chance, maybe now's the time as well. Ox there is hiding already. They were trying to set up for it with some distraction here as well.
Oh, the walk-in bomb makes way for the actual bomb. Erentra comes in now. Ox tries to follow up, but because of that quick sort of demand of follow-up with no health, Ox was kind of an easy picking target. But Omga takes some sort of space in the lobby area, and now they do hold second. Uber charge, ready.
Unfortunate one. I like the idea quite a lot, but if the bomb just gets reacted in time, they can still get so far back. All the way back, basically to the last to dodge it, and at that point you have better numbers. Ooh, catch entry as well, not again.
But the overcharge,
it
didn't get used during any of this. They've lost that, essentially lost this advantage now. Ox actually gets a cheeky kill during all of this, and Truly still has not used that Uber charge. They now do go into a fight with a couple of picks advantage. 3 picks advantage actually just goes down to 1 now, and they actually push them out the good old-fashioned way. I think all these players are trying to locate their mouse 2s.
Yeah, the cap back to the Frenchies took quite a while, but like you said, these Ubers are just waiting to be used next week instead of today, it looks like.
Hello?
One more bomb comes through. What's it gonna take? Not this, apparently, for Xio to pop the Uber just yet. We're holding on a little bit longer. Eventually, the spam will do it. But they're losing a lot of people here as well. Danny gets caught as a fight on the flank as well that ends in another trade. And you have the Uber up, but you gotta be real careful when you use it on red, because if you get forced early, this Uber's gonna do nothing. And it looks like they're getting away with a bit of scare. No one's really trying to get another bomb going. They don't have the soldiers really to do it.
The perfect timing of Raph, and I say perfect as in like just very lucky. Kind of jumped in just as the soldiers jumped away from his medic and had to deal with this awkward soldier kind of through their sort of step work into the out of step. And now they've got the midpoint. They have the supercharge advantage. They're going in straight to second and just leaving a scout there. May have Ox, don't have Ox, but they're going to have the second point. Nobody's in a position here to kind of put up a fight. What? Okay, they're using the Uber. I guess they really want to hold on second. They respond on kind in over on 3.5 stars. And oh no, the errantry is actually behind, and that's got to put 3.5 stars quite nervous. He's come back in. He's probably going to take out the medic. Has taken out the medic, and they can recommit in now. And they just need to make sure that during all this picks that Xiao does not go down, and they have not.
They're already all the way back in on mid 2, just cleaning up the last few players, not giving them a chance to either backpedal, let alone get to the medic. Not this time around. Too much shenanigans from the flank by the Frenchies. We're not letting them have any opportunity to do so now. And they're getting to the forward spawn in time just to make sure no one any
I
funny
wonder if
ideas.
they can cheekily get out of this this forward respawn. There, they decide to just back spawn. So they leave
Surely
one
not.
soldier, Scar, but that forward again hold on the resupply did look kind of weak for half a second there. But I have hacks, wall hacks. They do not.
Right back in Varmkorv boogie. This game very much has been much more in control by them than the last one. By and large, due to actually getting rounds early, I suppose, as well. But even beyond that, just always finding themselves back in a pretty good position now the last few times. They've fallen back to all their own art. They're getting out pretty quickly, and they're chasing this one away.
Yeah, Hugie does go down in that chase, however, and because they popped the Uber so early, I guess they saw a mirage. Maybe Hugie was like, I see the medic being used, and there was no real medic to be found.
Will not get them anything. In fact, lost them more than it got at all. 3 down as well. One more bomb is all they really have left. Ox tries to get in there for something or another. Doesn't get behind and get on a medic. Will not result in much. 7 minutes left. The comeback is still doable, and this is a good opportunity to start from, at least.
This could turn into a heartbreak. I see the momentum and the initial sort of player advantage. They can keep sailing away into this, and yeah, all that space has been gained. Nothing really resisting against them. They can keep going, but they don't want to. They just want to settle over on 3.5 stars and take the game from here. But you've got 6 minutes left, 2 rounds to make up. That's a lot of kind of round to chew into with just 5 minutes.
As the bombs coming through, they want this force early. It's not really good damage at all. That little wall, they're doing a lot of work protecting the medic there. Keeps Seal nice and safe. 2 down on the defense side now as well, and back around it goes all the way, taking space early. Infantry bombs in deep, gets the force going, will die for that. But that's a price well worth paying if you just get a much better result out of this fight as well. Do have to use, in fact, have to use on the way out here, which is a bit annoying. Makes it worse to chase back in with as well, but it's a pipe right away on the re-entry attempt. There's no way they can make it. They have way too much damage on all of them.
Oh my god, for the fire and flames, 3.5 stars are still trying to walk this in to the mid, and they are surviving this. Ox is kind of playing patient and maybe picking up a health pack, quick load of ammo. Will finally jump in now, and nobody's accounted for him. He's going to put in a bottle of damage. Nice little rocket coming out from Raph though to deal with him, and it's still quite a even affair for both of these teams, and no mid capture does mean it's going to slowly go 3.5 stars way.
Alright, well, Aaron Trio got 3 kills on this mid fight here. The problem is he was one of them, so got the chances a little short on this one. Gives the Frenchies a really good chance here as well, and maybe that's all I need. 5 minutes is not leaving a lot of time for any of this, but the Uber advantage will speed at least this round up, or so you'd think. This is a great chance to get to the last move as well. Gun is getting set up already. Hugie will spawn in time to do something of note, you'd hope as well. Sniping it is for now. Maybe switch to heavy later, but this Uber push has to do some damage now.
Yeah, so they've got the sentry gun behind the barrels, trying to play it sneaky. It does get cleaned up now, and now they have to just kind of do a good job of focus firing. The heavy weapons guy needs to do also a better job of keeping himself alive. Brought down to minuscule health, not quite down to the world of the dead, and
No,
just
he still
right on
dies.
top of the medic will go down. Sad days. If only that heavy switched off just that little bit sooner, it might have turned the tide in keeping that medic alive. But I mean, this is still pretty good for Varmkorv here, Dum.
This is exactly what you needed, if short of the Met dying, I suppose, as well. And even then, right, you have a 2-point lead. As long as you lose slowly enough, it might be okay to start losing a little bit. They're cutting the losses here, don't actually stay on second whatsoever, have to give this one up. Not a chance in the world. You keep holding this point without respawn being up as well. Get the funny kill, I guess, sure. We take that, I suppose. Like I said, as long as everything happens slowly enough, it's fine to lose some control here. As long as they can't get another good push into last. The problem with that is, with Xeo dying, there's still this big advantage lurking once again, and they have to do all this effort over again.
They are holding pretty close as a team. I don't think they're aware that there's supposed to be an Uber charge ready. They actually come out from the other side of things, so this kind of worked out quite lucky for the rest of Varmkorv. They've rotated the heavy out now, and they need to start focus firing. They're all sharing a lot of the same sort of rough area, a lot of pipe damage, a lot of explosives, putting in a lot of work, finally getting the Uber charge for Varmkorv, and that will just make things that little bit slower for last, and a scout is just not ready to part with this last point just yet. It will commit his life in, and yeah, just losing more slowly.
Alright, all in all, not bad, not bad. Gets them yet another minute wasted on the clock for Varmkorv boogie. And this time around, with a pretty much even Uber situation at the end of it all as well. And if Metalworks was anything to go by, is that this is now unwinnable. I don't want it to be that way. Would be more funny if Frenchies do something here, but it's been proven difficult already in this map as well.
This is some mathematical sort of territory we're entering here, so I think this is do or die. Otherwise, I think you're right, there's no sort of drawing. They pop in now. There's an Uber charge, though, to deal with. They couldn't deal with the time they had advantages. How are they going to deal with Shio having the Uber charge at this point? They're actually working with it a little bit better. The flank is not really addressed as much as it was previous, and they get a couple of kills out. They have to push back in if they want to convert things into a win, or at least a draw, and they throw in Scar, but Scar doesn't quite find the thing. I don't know why they're kind of focusing on the points as hard as they are at this moment. They more need to focus on kills, but I mean, back to the drawing board, but it's a drawing board for just this round, I think.
The control point is being captured.
It's bringing it to the last few minutes of the game, and at this point the Frenchies are looking mighty out of resources. Varmkorv boogie will get this point wrapped up after a very disappointing End of Map 1. Clutching the second one certainly will remedy a lot of the losses here a little bit. And yeah, it's just fighting for the goddamn logs at this point, I think. What's happening.
We've lost all sorts of stability in these last moments. I think those people have got one eye on the tables and one eye on the match server. I mean, congrats to Varmkorv, though. With an actual win, not a sort of soft Golden Cap win, they will take more points away out of all of this. I think it's 4 points to 2.
Yes.
So they're sitting pretty in the
How
table.
did they not hit UT there as well? Oh no. They might not even get this round for the French team as well. Just to make things even worse, now they lost their medic. Can't even get the pity point anymore on the round.
I mean, I don't think I could even cope this. There's a minute left. I think the map is pretty big, so I don't think you can even speedrun it that quick. That heavy weapons guy, man, what a class.
They can't speedrun the heavy either. Most certainly do not. 50 seconds left. What are they going to do with this newfound time they have all of a sudden?
Where's
not much, apparently.
Where's the GG mod when
they
you
tried
need
all
it?
they could. They are leaving. And I can't blame them. This game is well worth over at this point. By all means. They tried the hardest, but unlike last map, there was not one funny backup to save it all. They got close twice, but it wasn't enough.
I admire Varmkorv still defending last, just in case it's a big brain play to get that back out.
I mean, Jack does try to 1v6 them, but that's all he had in store. Won't even respawn in time anymore at this point. And there you go, Varmkorv is just sitting here because, you know, someone's going to be on the server when the game ends, I guess.
I'm sure you could write a psychological paper about how people take losses. The ones that stand still in the server, the ones that kind of zoom about and just jump about, or like zoom with a camera. The ones that kind of still just DM fest it, and the ones that just leave early.
Well, all we know is who are the ones who win more out of the night than what you lose, I suppose, out of this night as well. And we now have to keep in mind also what happened in the other game, which apparently was very silly and goofy, which makes the tables become subsequently a lot funnier as well going to the final week.
I don't think ETF2L will be updated just yet, but I think that makes everything still kind of wild going into week 7.
Yes, because now you still need preferably 4 fans, but maybe also the Germans, I guess, to lose if you're in the lower half of the table. But the chance has become all the bigger that it still works out. 4 fans has lost, I believe, so 18 points. You need to guarantee it clear, and then you still need to cope that those guys also don't get anything else.
So it's all about playoffs at this point, I think.
Yes.
For just any team, I don't think is 3.5 stars out.
They got, 2 tonight? That's 11.
Yeah. I think they're
And
out.
then they can get 6, 17. Yeah, they're out.
Yeah.
They're short of like 2 points of even having a remote dream of it.
They're completely out. I wonder if their match, even if they won, would mess things up. Because I imagine they demoralized. Who are they playing? They're playing Last Resort, so I think they're pretty safe.
That's tough. Yeah, TLR and Manama 24.
Okay, so there are no real consequences, I think, from that sort of shenanigans.
Yeah. So the bottom half of the table is now 3.5 stars at 11 points. Then Agata had 15 going into tonight, and they didn't play, so they're still at 15. Varmkorv boogie got 4 tonight, actually ahead of them now at 16. 2 behind for fans. And then Havoc got 6 tonight, they're now also at 15 tied with Gada. So Varmkorv does move up in the world by 1 position, but they're still 2 points short of 4 fans, which means whatever happens in next week's matches, Varmkorv needs to just get straight up more points than 4 fans does.
Isn't Varmkorv got like Mandem or something? Something insane.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Which makes things significantly worse. And meanwhile, I think the most immediately relevant match next week will be 4 fans versus Gada, because the winner of that 6-point swing is just almost guaranteed in playoffs, if not for Varmkorv also just like winning something.
Do you think Mandem are the kind of team to kind of armchair this a little bit, maybe sprinkle some chaos in all that playoffs by giving Varmkorv some potential points? Or do you think they will take this completely seriously and just kind of shut down? They will just
take the comfy position of having barely confirmed playoffs last week and just like shit talk people in Twitch, I would imagine. Same with TLR. I mean, granted, between those two up top there as well, first place hadn't been decided yet. They're tied in points, but TLR has the head-to-head win, so they're currently first. In the event that both teams get the same amount of points, whichever points it will be, if they both win or both titles matter, TLR will stay first as well. They're in a power position now. As long as they win, they're guaranteed first.
Either way, if you have just joined us, you have missed out on a bit of Varmkorv boogie versus 3.5 stars. Sadly, 3.5 stars will not really look pretty in the rest of the season, but there's still a potential mathematical degree to be made and had by anybody who figures out week 7 in all these matches. So do stay tuned. I'd like to thank, obviously, Dave for quickly helping me out on that first map, covering me, as I couldn't quite make it. A big shout out to Dum Tum as well for putting on a full fat cast. No part 1's missing from this man. And a big shout out to Beta as well for obviously doing all the production. And a shout out to all you guys at home for watching our little coverage. Dum Tum, have you got any nice things to say to the audience before we go?
No.
Cool. All right. If anything else, you can always find it on teamfortress.tv. I've been Turataz again. With me has been Dum Dum, Beta, Dave a little bit in that first time. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.